First with breaking news.
This week on Green Angle, we take you inside the Okwaba Abattoir in Agege, one of Lagos's largest meat processing hubs, recently shut down over environmental and safety concerns. The closure sparked questions about hygiene and sanitation and the fate of those who depend on it. We'll hear from the butchers, state government officials and environmental advocates calling for change. Welcome. I am Esther Mokwariola.
Nigeria has embarked on the world's largest clean cooking initiative with the formal launch of the 80 million Clean Cook Stoves project. Rollout began in the heart of Makoko, Lagos, as part of 60th birthday of the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, symbolizing government's commitment to environmental sustainability, public health and social inclusion. Special advisor to the Lagos governor on climate change and circular economy, Mrs. Titilayo Oshodi, says the project places Nigeria at the forefront of compliance carbon markets under the UNFCCC's Article 64ER framework. The initiative is designed to reduce reliance on firewood and traditional biomass fuels by over 90%, targeting women, low-income families and underserved communities.
Honored and privileged because amongst the 8 million communities and households that have been designated to enjoy the benefits of this Clean Cook Stove, Makoko stands to be the anchor. Makoko stands to be the very first to taste this new trajectory of clean energy that addresses health degradation, that helps to boost the morale, the economic propensity, and also the ability, to enjoy a fresh, sustainable environment by virtue of the modeling of this Clean Cook Stove.
The idea even is anybody who gets it free of charge will get also 50 seedlings to plant, long-term trees, commercial trees. And these seedlings also don't belong to anybody, it belongs to them. It's a commercial tree, mangoes or whatever, all these fruits. So the only thing is they have to look for it, look after it. When it grows, it's theirs, but they have to look after it. So you see, so it will also help afforestation. You see, not only not using the wood anymore, but we are afforesting, especially in the northern areas. There are no trees anymore. If they are doing that, it helps a lot to reduce the climate change. So United Nations pays for every ton of this in. So it's not being sold.
In a bid to cushion the impact of climate change on agriculture, the Kwara state government is training livestock officers and agricultural stakeholders on climate-smart practices and early warning systems. The 5-day training under the L-Press project is empowering 100 participants with skills to interpret weather data and manage climate risks, especially in livestock production. Experts say this initiative will help smallholder farmers plan better, reduce losses, and maintain food production.
We're going to train them on smart agriculture, and we're also going to train them on how to use the weather stations, the automated weather stations that we now have in the state. We currently have 3, one in each senatorial district, and the weather stations will give us helpful information, early warnings that can help us with our feed production, as well as proper animal husbandry.
Through SMS, you can subscribe for the weather forecast in the state. So every morning you see what's going to happen. You can have a 5-day forecast and plan ahead. So you know what's going to happen, high temperature, it's going to rain at 4 o'clock, you'll know. So that's the second phase we're working on.
The participants will be put through how to even read climate data and what to do with the climate data. And also, the climate data will not also be only read, they can also disseminate it to their neighbors, their neighboring farmers in the community as well.
With the rains intensifying and the risk of waterborne diseases on the rise, the Lagos State government is stepping up efforts to prevent another wave of cholera infections. This latest sensitization campaign focuses on informal vendors and waste workers, key players on the front line of community health in flood-prone areas.
This type of awareness is key, letting them know that they are critical stakeholder in preventing cholera in the community. Then in terms of enforcement of food vendor is definitely not within LASEPA purview. But we assist the MD, we work in synergy.
Under this project, we have planned a series of awareness events across different localities in Lagos. So we'll have about 8 more events every month till early next year.
Participants are being educated on proper hygiene, safe food handling and clean water practices, simple but essential steps in disease prevention.
Ensure that what you are eating is well cooked, it is not raw, it is washed if it is fruit. Ensure that you have food safety. The second is for you to ensure that there is water safety. Take water from pure source, buy bone water preferably, bottled water better. Then in the case of borehole, ensure that your borehole is deep borehole, not shallow water. Where you have water from other sources, ensure they were boiled.
Of this program now, it's a program to sensitize, people so that they don't drop their waste into the canal or the drain. They should give their waste to the PSP operators so that it will minimize the effect of, having cholera within the community.
Lagos recorded a major cholera outbreak in June last year, affecting several areas, including Ikorodu, Badagry, Lagos Island, Kushofe and Etiosa. As government and international partners intensify interventions, residents are being urged to remain vigilant. In the heart of the Sonoran Desert, the Saguaro Cactus stands tall, iconic, majestic and deeply rooted in Arizona's landscape and culture. John Guru leads tours through this desert where saguaros, some over a century old, once thrived. But now, even these resilient giants are under threat.
But it's always concerned that, you see that maybe it's something bigger. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see them and see that it looks like they're melting.
Extreme unrelenting heat is pushing this already arid region to its limits. Arizona has experienced record-breaking temperatures after exceeding 110 degrees for weeks at a time. That kind of heat is proving too much, even for the hardy saguaro, with some essentially dying from the heat stroke. In the Phoenix area, researchers say saguaro death rates have surged from about 1 to 2% annually to nearly 7% in just the past 5 years. That's much faster than the species can naturally regenerate.
We are undoubtedly going to be seeing more and more of these kinds of graveyard conditions as the rest of the desert continues to get warmer and warmer.
At the Desert Botanical Garden, Kevin's team is experimenting with harder saguaro seedlings, varieties better suited to survive a hotter, drier climate.
Not going to disappear completely. But in terms of trying to improve their chances, it really is partly up to us.
Some of those seedlings will be planted in the Tonto National Forest, but growth will take decades and survival, perhaps, a new kind of resilience. The Okwaba Abattoir in Agege lay idle after being shut down by the Lagos State Ministry of Environment over serious environmental violations. A recent inspection by the Environment Commissioner and his team uncovered troubling practices at one of Lagos's largest meat processing facilities. Animals were seen being slaughtered under unhygienic conditions, alongside several other breaches of environmental regulations.
We got a very strongly worded petition with respect to the state of the Okwaba Abattoir And we got a concurrent petition again from the Mother Ministry of Agric and Food Security, requesting that the Ministry of Environment should intervene urgently with respect to the environmental degradation of that facility. So we came this morning, and I'm glad you guys came with us. It's very heart-wrenching what we saw there. Humans are now occupying pens built purposely for animals. The operators have also defied regulations, and they have chosen to be a law unto themselves. They slaughter animals, discharge the waste into the public drainage system, and it's just unacceptable. The next step is we're going to take very drastic, firm and decisive action until they are able to comply with the minimum standard.
Days after the closure, there's a bit of change in the facility. Officials from the State Waste Management Agency and environmental enforcement teams are on ground, monitoring the cleanup and ensuring compliance. The butchers say the closure has caused significant financial losses. They admit to previous lapses and now seek a second chance.
Àwa fẹ́ kíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó kí wọ́n bá wa sí abattoir yìí, kí wọ́n bá sí ní èní, because gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tá a bá ṣiṣẹ́ a lè jẹun, kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó ń fún wa ní àní pé bóyá a rìtáyà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tó jẹ́ 80 of 60, 70 wọ́n sì ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ nínú abattoir yìí. Kọ́lọ́ ọba kó ṣàánú wa, gbogbo àsárà tá a ti ṣe, gbogbo in tó ti lọ, kí gbogbo àkólọ wa kó lè padà. Gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé bóyá wọ́n wá rajà lọ́wọ́ wa, gbogbo owó wa tí wọ́n gbé lọ, òní ẹ máa fi jẹ́ ńlé pẹ̀lú ìyàwó wọn pẹ̀lú ọmọ wa.
Abin da yake faruwa yanzu ko ya faru yanzu abu ne wanda ba abu na jin daɗi ba, kuma abin da za mu zuwa gaba wanda ya zama cewar ba za mu jawo abin da kuma gwamnati za ta dawo ta sake kulle wannan gurin ba. Da masu ba wani wanda yake masana'anta yake sana'a kuma zai so a ce yayi abin da gwamnati za ta zo ta kulle wannan gurin. Sannan mutanen da za a ce sun dawo har sun kawo wani abu wanda za a ce gwamnati ta kulle wannan, dole kamar yadda mai magana ya magana na baya, dole za mu ɗauki matakai daban-daban wanda za mu haɗa kai da junanmu mu zo mu aiki tukuru, mu haɗa wasu wanda suke kamar task force wanda za mu ci gaba da kula da wannan gurin. Kun dai ga wannan gurin ya kasance kwana wajen 3 ko 4 da aka kulle shi, ba ma cikin jin daɗi da irin matsalolin da suka faru da mu.
They say efforts are now underway to adopt better hygiene practices and ensure full compliance with all guidelines in meat processing.
We are really sincerely very sorry that the situation came like this. It is not intended. Where you have a large crowd like this, it is bound to happen once in a while. But we have learned our lessons, and we are pleading to the state government to please look at us kindly. We have dislodged the larrages, like you can see as you took the tour of the larrages. We have dislodged the people. We have taken in all the people out, waiting for instructions from the Ministry of Agriculture. We have taken it upon ourselves too. We will have a task force within ourselves that we maintain the tempo of this sanitation that we have just embarked upon.
Meanwhile, environmental activist Leslie Adogame believes the abattoir should not be reopened until a post-environmental assessment is carried out.
Before opening that facility, the Lagos State government should do what we call a post-impact assessment. There's a post-EIA which will help to put that place in check. What about occupational exposure of even the people who work there? Right? The people who work there continuously are exposed to what I call a very obnoxious putrid odor, toxic in nature, an odor that if you continuously inhale it over a period of time, your olfactory lobes gets adjusted and you can never smell anything different even when you come out of that location. This is why we call for a post-impact assessment. so that the government can put a full management process, a sanitary management process for that facility.
He warns of potential disease outbreaks and urges residents to patronize certified outlets for their meat purchases while remaining health conscious.
That what can be done is there are, when the facility is reorganized, there are automatic clocking system too for animals. Before any animal can be killed, it is certified to have gone through veterinary assessment. That's number one. Now, but in a situation where there are leakages, leakages means you always have people circumventing, and you still have animals that has not been certified fit, killed and sold to the market. The only advice we can give as public health people is, you don't know the kind of meat you buy, but most importantly, it's much more safer to buy meat product from, like supermarkets. Yes, because they are kept under very extreme frozen conditions, which have the ability to either immobilize or kill some of these bacteria. Over-the-counter meats, animal product that we just buy from open market and cook, that has to change. The length of time you cook, has to change. You have to increase the length of time so that if it contains such dangerous organisms, they will all have to be heat labor. In other words, they will be killed by heat.
The Okoba Abattoir stands at a crossroads between the lessons of its past and the hope of a cleaner and safer future. Whether this transformation holds will depend on action, not just from the authorities, but from everyone in the meat supply chain.
Green Angle returns in just a moment. Stay with us.
Plastic-Free July is a global social movement turning the tide on plastic waste, one choice at a time. Since it began in 2011, millions have joined the month-long challenge each July. More than 87% of participants report making lasting changes. In Nigeria, environmental activist Akin Disu is taking it further, distributing clear refuse bags to support easier plastic collection and keep them out of the waste stream.
Plastic-Free July, it's an international movement that aims to sensitize people about plastic pollution and encourage you not to use plastic during the month of July. But we've adapted that for the city of Lagos, where we are based in. And what we are saying that this month of July, please ensure that all the plastic you use does not go into the waste stream. How we intend to go about this for Plastic-Free July is by reaching out to communities and asking them to sign up at our website hello@rightonthebeach.com. And if you sign up, then we will send you clear nylon bags. Now, if you use those nylon bags to practice separation at source, so in your house you put all the plastic, the nylons, the containers, the packages, pure water sachets, black bin bags, everything into the plastic, separating it from your normal waste. And then you just tie this up and put it along with your normal waste. Then the LOMA is fully capable of handling it. The PSPs that are already signed on with LOMA know what to do with it, and it prevents the plastic from going into the waste stream. For a city like Lagos that is in the tropics as well, we have to be very careful when we take on Western standards. For example, in the West, you just dump all your plastic in a bin without any bagging it. That's the accepted international standard. But if you do that in Lagos, because everything goes into that bin, it gets contaminated. Once it gets contaminated, it cannot be recycled, because one grain of sand ensures that the whole batch cannot be recycled. So the thing is that you, as the first person to come in touch with plastic, you actually have a responsibility to try and make sure it doesn't get contaminated before it goes through to recycling. So really the responsibility, I must say, really lies on us at this this point in time. We've had loads of offices that have signed up to it. We've had loads of schools and communities. We're already distributing thousands of bags to them. And we hope that more people will join. And this can become a movement that Lagos State, that we can all take on and get rid of this plastic nuisance. We are encouraging people to give it a go. You'll love it once you try it. You'll feel so empowered. You'll feel part of the community, and you will do more, hopefully. But for us, it's just for July. hello@rightonthebeach.com or call us on 0803 300 6319.
And that's about it on this week's edition of the program. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now.